All right, hi everybody, John Meadows here, and I wanted to do a video on how hard I train and talk about maybe how hard you should train. It's a great topic because we were having a lot of discussions on going to failure, not going to failure, how many reps you leave in the tank, and although it's going to change depending on your experience level, there are some good concepts that I wanted to share with you that I think will apply to most of you, at least intermediate and advanced trainees. So what we're going to do today is we're training chest. I want to take you through what my thought process is, how hard am I going. You know, I think a lot of people assume that because I advocate some sets to failure, like every sets to failure or crazy amount of sets to failure. That's just not true. You got to be strategic about how you use them. So we're training chest today. We're starting on a dumbbell press here. Now, what I like to do in my first exercise for chest is I like to use an exercise that's not real hard on connective tissue, which basically means no barbell pressing. That's very hard on my connective tissue. And that old saying about mind-muscle connection that's been in bodybuilding for many years, I believe is true. And I have a real good mind-muscle connection with machine presses and with dumbbell presses. I feel them really good. So I start with an exercise that's easy on connective tissue, that I feel really good. I can work on that mind-muscle connection, really squeezing, really feeling the weight. So right now what we're doing is we're just warming up, and our next set is going to be a work set. So this is probably about our fourth warm-up set, so you can see kind of what the warm-up looks like, but that's not really important. But then I'm going to take you through the work sets and how each one should look. So let's go ahead and get started. Enough talking, and I think you're going to enjoy this one. So this is another warm-up, 95s. I'm just going to do 5 or 6 reps. I don't want to fatigue for the hard set, so just warming up. So this is going to be our first set here. We've got 110s. On this one, I'm not going to failure. The reason why I'm not going to failure is because I'm saving a little bit for my last set, which is going to be the failure. So as opposed to doing 2 sets of failure, I'm just going to do 1. So there will be reps left in the tank on this. I can't tell you if it's going to be 2 reps or 3 reps. But I'm going to do probably around 8 to 10 reps, knowing I could do more. But this is a working set. You don't have to go to failure to consider a set a working set, but I will say this too, when you're leaving 6, 10, 15 reps in the tank, that's just a warm-up. That's not a real set. But this is going to be set number 1. All right, I'll get this one. All right, got it. Okay, got it. Two more. 9, 10. Good job. Come on. 6, good. Come on, 7. Come on, 8. Come on, 9. Come on, 10. Come on. Good. That's it. Thanks, Brandon. Good set. Whew. Okay, so that was my set to failure. I couldn't have done any more reps with good form. I may have been able to do a really ugly rep, but that's when you hurt yourself. That was as many as I could do with good form, and that's what failure is to me. It's getting as many reps as you can with good form, and then when you know your form's going to go bad, you stop. That's also a great way to stay healthy. Now, how many sets did we do? I would count this as 2 sets. The set before this was relatively heavy, and that was certainly heavy. So, some people would have said we did 4 sets or 5. They would have counted some of those warm-ups. The money sets are the last 2, particularly the last set. Those are the sets that are going to make a difference. Now, on that last set, I did 12 reps. If I start getting up around 15 reps, then I'll go heavier in weight. That's how I work my progressive overload. But I will also say this. You can't just get stronger forever and add reps forever, or else I'd be doing 200-pound dumbbells, or I'd be doing the 120s for set to 50. So if you're not stronger every week, you're not getting more reps every week, it doesn't mean your workouts aren't working. It doesn't mean they're bad workouts. I get just so tired of hearing people say you have to be getting stronger or getting more reps. That's great if you are, but that doesn't last forever, particularly when you get to the advanced stage. Beginner, yes. Intermediate, yeah, probably. Advanced, doesn't always work that way. So anyways, that's just some thoughts on how we start. First exercise, last set to failure. Now we're going to go to our compound movement. So off to that.
Hi, I'm Alexander. I'm going to show you guys ripcord.
All right, so now we moved on to our incline barbell presses, our compound movement. I did one set with 190 just to get the feel of it. Now what I do on this is I have a target number in mind. So today it's 6 reps. So the goal is to do as heavy as a weight as I can for 6 reps with good form. So no sloppy reps. On compound movements, especially no sloppy reps. So I may not go to complete failure. There may be a rep or two left in the tank. Not 2, but there may be 1. Compound movements, I tend to be a little bit more cautious with going to complete failure. I don't want to get halfway up through the lift and drop it on a compound lift, okay? So there may be a rep in the tank on this one. If you do 6 and you think, man, I could have got 7, 8, or 9, or 10, then what I would say is then you just go up. It's like having a logbook, but it's built in. You don't need to write it down. You just know that that last set, that 6 reps should be really hard. If you've done that, then you've succeeded. And then when the 6 reps gets easy, then you can add, like again, you can add the weight or you could change the rep goal. So if 6 reps is easy, maybe the next week, maybe say, okay, now I'm going to get 7 reps with it. So either way, but so typically what we do on the next movement is a compound movement. I'm going to see just how 225 feels. I'm just gauging what I think my top set will be. So really this is just a little bit more of a warm up, honestly. So felt pretty good. Felt pretty good. I think I'm going to do about a 30-pound weight jump. Pretty solid. All right, so let's see how this feels. I think it's 260 or something like that. Again, the target's 6. If I get 6 pretty easy, then I'm going to go up. I think that will happen. So it'll be a working set, but it won't be to failure. So let's see how it feels. Okay, so that wasn't easy, but I had more reps for sure. So that was a semi-hard set. So we're going to count that as a working set, and then we'll go up probably another, I'm going to say probably about another 20 or 30 pounds. All right, so got my 3 minutes rest in. I added another 20 pounds. So let's see how this feels for 6.
Come on. 5. One more. Finish.
So that was pretty good. I probably had another rep. Definitely not 2. That's where you want to be. That actually worked out pretty well. That's where you want to be on the compound movement. So believe it or not, I was trying to drive the weight up as hard as I could. It's just heavy. So that's what the last set should look like on the compound movement. All right? All right, so I would consider that 2 sets. The last set certainly was a set, and the set before that, that was good work too. So up to this point in the workout, I would say we've done 4 sets. Now again, semantics. Some people would have counted other sets. I don't really care how many sets you count. What really matters is the last 2 sets, particularly the last set, because that's where you're going to challenge your body to adapt. All that weight working up to that, that's not challenging anything. It's just warming you up. Now, I get a lot of questions from natural guys. You know, can I do your training? What do you think? You've seen the first two exercises. It's not an insane amount of volume. You've got to train hard. Remember what I said on last week's videos. As a natural guy, you have to train really, really hard. It's harder for you to grow muscle. So if you think you got to train easier, you're going the wrong way. So again, as a natural guy, you should see, oh, this is good for me. This is how I should push. And if you're enhanced, hell yeah, you should be getting bigger, stronger. And so this type of programming, it works for everybody. The difference is the enhanced guys just may be able to recover faster. But the intensity needs to be there no matter what, all right? So now we're gonna move on to our third exercise. All right, so now we're on exercise number 3. It's this prime incline press. The goal now it's blood flow time, okay? Now we're gonna try to get a crazy pump. Now, if you think this is pump and fluff stuff, you're completely wrong. We're still fatiguing the muscle fiber, okay? So we've activated the muscles, obviously. We've loaded them. You also have to exhaust them. That's why just doing a little bit every day doesn't really help unless you're a beginner. You've got to load the muscle hard and exhaust it. And if you're really into the science stuff, you've probably studied myofibrillar hypertrophy, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, and you know there's a lot of evidence to suggest sarcoplasmic hypertrophy actually works. I'm going to save you guys all that stuff though. So what we're doing here is we found an exercise that allows us to do a drop set. The third exercise we like to do a working set to failure. Now we're on an exercise that's really safe for your joints. So we're going to go to failure, and then we add on a high intensity technique for a crazy pump. All right? So again, it's probably going to look like 2 working sets. We're going to see how this feels. If it's really light, I won't count it and I'll go up. But now a working set and then a high intensity technique. In this case, again, we've chosen a drop set as our high intensity technique. When you do this, you should have a crazy pump afterwards. So let's see how this feels, and then we'll go from there. Super light, that's why I stopped. Really, really light there, so we're gonna go up. All right, so let's see how this feels. Now again, I wanna mention, so the exercise you pick is really important here. So we've got an exercise that's very safe, and again, I wanna reemphasize the importance of fatiguing muscle fibers, okay? That means you're going hard. As you go through a set, there's a certain amount of muscle fibers that are engaged that are trying to produce force. As you fatigue more muscle fibers are called into play to help you continue the set until eventually they're all called into play and then they're all exhausted. That's the goal. Remember, activate, load, and exhaust. Forget just the activation. I want you to also exhaust muscle fibers. That's how you're going to challenge them. All right, so let's see how this one feels. So I wanted 8 to 10 reps there, and I think I got somewhere around 9. I wanted those to failure. I went to failure. If you notice, I was locking them out and I was squeezing really hard. The first exercise we did on the dumbbell press, those weren't locked out. Those were more continuous tension. The incline barbell press we did, those weren't locked out. That's continuous tension. Now, to drive as much blood as we can in there, I want locked out full squeezes on every rep. So now we're increasing our range of motion, we're squeezing really hard, we're doing a safe exercise, and we're going to failure. So that was a work set. That's set number 1. All right, so here we go. Drop set. This is a money set. You got to get everything you got. No matter how bad it hurts, you got to push through the pain. Failure on every single rep or set, mini set within the set. So let's get to work. Come on. Come on. Push. One more. Come on. Oh, that's it.
Other one. Come on. All right. Come on. Come on. Show me how it's done. Come on. Push.
That felt good. That's a real set right there. All right, so that was a tough set. So by my count, that's 6 sets so far, 3 not to failure, 3 to failure. Now we have a real good pump. Now what I like to do is once you have a lot of blood in the muscle, I like to find an exercise that really puts a hard stretch on it. Okay, so now we're gonna, for our last exercise, now we're gonna choose an exercise where we can really go through almost an extreme range of motion, and let's see what we can come up with. All right, so we went to the machine fly, which I absolutely love. This machine's a little unique. We can set it up so that most of the resistance is from here to here. That means when you get in the stretch position, it's lighter. So that allows you to stretch. If you had a real heavy weight and you're reaching real far back, probably not the best for your shoulder health. But with a lightweight, it allows me to really stretch. And again, this is a real unique machine. It allows you to load at the top if you set it that way. But I did kind of a set just to get the feel of it. Now I'm going to go to failure on this set. Again, which is a safe exercise. You can go to failure with no fear. Anyways, so let's go. So failure there, that felt really, really good. If you notice too, earlier in the workout, the reps are a little bit lower. Now the reps are going up a little bit. So now we're getting the advantage of different muscle fiber types. You could also say we're hitting them all since we're going to failure too though. But anyways, this feels really good. So that was the first set. All right, so before we do this last insane set, so, you know, a lot of people have said, not a lot of people, a few people said, oh, John, you just go crazy with this intensity. You're just throwing stuff on the wall and seeing what sticks. That's not true. Hopefully, you guys that have seen this, how we think through everything, how we layer the exercises, hopefully this makes sense to you now. We're practicing good, old-fashioned progressive resistance on the first 2 exercises. We're using the right movements. We're not injuring ourselves. We're cranking the muscle fiber. We're fatiguing the muscle fibers, which is what a lot of people just don't get on the last 2 exercises. And this is very manageable volume. So this will make 8 sets. So let's say you did this twice in a week. Let's say you did 16 sets. Well, all the science guys are saying that between 10 to 20 sets a week total, somewhere around there seems to be the right number. So I think this is pretty good. So anyways, let's get to work on this last set. All right, so now we're in our last set. On the last exercise, we did a drop set for a high intensity technique. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna tack on some force reps. Then I'm gonna tack on some partials and then even an iso hold. So we're gonna go all out. We're gonna destroy every muscle fiber. In other words, we're gonna go out in style.
Come on. 1. Finish. 2. Come on, squeeze. I got you. Come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on.
Let's do another one more.
Finish, finish.
Okay, partials.
Good stretch, good stretch. Hold it, hold it.
Ooh. All right, so that was it. You saw it. Failure, forced reps, partials, iso hold, multiple high intensity techniques. Really dig into those muscle fibers, load them, fatigue them, exhaust them. One set, and my chest is fried, it's done. But in a couple days, it'll be ready to go again.